Welcome back to our second Ask the Expert session. This will be on Master Data Management and Digitalization, led by Klaus Köhler, Global Industry Manager, Life Science, and Adrian Stangl, Business Development Manager, IIoT, Endress+Hauser. Please post your questions to them while they provide you a brief overview of this topic. Over to you, gentlemen.
Hello, everyone. My name is Adrian Stangl. Happy to be here. With me is my colleague Klaus Köhler, and we are very happy to give you a short introduction into the topic Master Data Management and Digitalization. And yeah, looking forward to get your questions after the short introduction. You can go to the next slide, please. So when we're talking about measuring devices and maintenance processes in the life science industry, we always face similar challenges. So for example, we have a plant shutdown. There are multiple on-site services to find out what is really the issue. And why we have these troubles is because we have a lot of challenges. So for example, one challenge is we have a lack of historical diagnostic information. We have missing inventory information, or also inaccessible data. Right, so that leads to your challenges as a customer or as an end user of a life science plan is you have log data, right? You have limited decision-making insights and also not a complete end-to-end view. And well, how can we solve that, right? It's of course with data, and the beginning of all of that is master data. And I show you now in the next slide why master data are so important. Can we go to the next slide? So you see here kind of where we all want to go, right? You see in the top right corner, predictive maintenance, like with algorithm, advanced AI, machine learning. That's where we all strive for, and that's where we all want to be in the next months and years to come. So we can predict when, for example, there will be a plant shutdown if we don't do anything. But to go there, it's a long way. So we start normally, or in the past it was more like being reactive, right? Break and fix. Some of you already are preventive, so they have a schedule based to say, okay, every 2 weeks I do a verification or I check my instruments. And then these in between is called so-called condition based. And what all of these have in common, you see actually in the back, and these are actually master data. So master data are giving you the opportunity to achieve all of that. So it's kind of the base you need to have, otherwise it doesn't make sense to go in any of these directions. So master data of instruments like serial number, like obsolescence status, like documents, like calibration certificates. So all these kind of things helps you to make the right decision at the right time and prevent you from unplanned shutdowns. And yeah, we are looking forward to have your questions now about this topic, master data, and how do you see it. And I'm very happy to go through that now with you. Maybe, Klaus, we take a look on the first question. Huh?
Yes, I may have different vendors. How can I get all my master data in one platform? Yeah, that's a very good question. And this is also a very strong request by our customers. Yeah, with all digitalization topics, we should really be consistent and not vendor specific. So, of course, each vendor has his own silos where they keep their data, and in order to make that available to the customers, it should be one platform. And typically, this is a cloud-based application where the data are shuffled to, and so the question is how to get it into there. Whenever we talk to the experts, we say there's not one way how to get it there. Depending on the different status or the different, let's say, level of modernity of the devices, the digital protocols and so on, there are different ways. If they are connected through a 4-20 signal and they have hard included, you can use the hard signal in order to get the data out of that. So each vendor has different different silos where they have the data, and there should be means like again depending on what you have. Adrian, what is our solution maybe?
Yeah, just to add on this one. So, for example, we can think about the SAP AIM, Asset Information Management, and there it's a platform where all the different vendors can put in their master data. So, for example, we from Endress+Hauser, we developed a very easy and special connection from our cloud environment, which is called Natillion. So, of course, we have all the information of our instruments in our own database, but with this connection to this SAP AIM, for example, we make it available for you as a user, so you don't have to do it manually, upload it manually, look on our Endress.com websites for the documents, for example. You don't need to make sure that it's updated by yourself, so it's all automatically. So this is, for example, one solution how this could look like, that you use a platform like SAP AIM, where you have all vendors, the possibility to integrate all vendors for the master data, and especially we from Endress+Hauser made it possible for you very, very easily with a so-called API, application programming interface. So there are several ways, as Klaus said, to get this information, and that this is the solution from Endress+Hauser for example, SAP AIM.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next question is, how do you avoid master data overload with all kind of signals and guide the maintenance on the right priorities? I mean, this is already referring to a certain use case of maintenance. Of course, we need to have a clear structure on that. Huh? So, for example, master data as such, they don't help you with the predictive maintenance, for example, because that requires more data. But having transparency and a clear structure on the data helps you to organize all your assets and do a proper planning of maintenance. So the next step would be having data for predictive maintenance. So that means diagnostics data and all that. And of course, all that also needs a clear structure. And the big question is, what kind of data do you bring up to the cloud? Is it raw data that you need to somehow handle in, as Adrian said, in an SAP system, or will there be a middle layer also by a vendor who already makes some information out of that data and only pushes up the relevant data which is relevant for maintenance? So it's all depending on the data structure, and at the end of the day also on the system structure.
Absolutely. I guess nothing I need to add to this one. Thanks for that. So take a look on the next question. So why should I care about master data? So it's actually quite simple why you should care about this. It helps you to have a structure, as Klaus already said. Okay, what do I have in my plant already, right? So, and if you're having the aspect maybe not of maintenance, but for example, of compliance, right, which is also very, very important in the life science industry. So when inspectors are coming in and they are asking more and more specific questions about master data, what kind of instruments do you have? When was the last time you verified them? How did you configure them? You know, all these information which are static for the time being, so which are not, having a value like 24/7. But these information are crucial for your compliance in your plant. So having a simple, easy overview of what do I have in my plant, and with 1 or 2 clicks, you come to the point where you say, okay, this is my tag for my flow meter, and I click on this tag, and below there I have all documents, all my configuration, all my calibration reports, and then you can just show it to the inspector and say, okay, here it is. You can check. That's it, right? And that's really a big benefit why you should care about master data, to make sure that you're compliant, it's easy, fast, and you save a lot of time and money.
What are typical use cases? Why I need master data, and I would like to connect that already to the question, which is now below. Are master data just the basis? What about configuration data and calibration status? Because configuration management, including software version management and calibration status or calibration management, are already one of these use cases which are mentioned. So that's a very good question. And we're right now running projects together with our end users and customers, where we try to find a right structure for that. And there we try to use the given standards like the NAMO architecture, the NOAA open architecture, where there are cloud services to help that. And we are thinking about having two different models in an asset administration shell, which is also defined by these associations, where there are two different models, like a model for the as planned status of the configuration, which is then also qualified in a validated environment, and what is installed on site would be the other model. And if we can compare these and we are all aligned, that means the as built status out in the field is in accordance with the as planned status, we are sure that we have the validated state. So that would be one of the use cases. Same with calibration. If we have this North Star in mind, this full plug and play, fully integrated plant as of the maturity models, which we all have seen before, then we also need to think about calibration. Maybe having some automated means how to calibrate, and then bringing this data also back into these information systems. So these are the use cases around. So we start with the compliance, because this is the basis. Configuration management, software version management, would be on top of that. Supporting compliance, calibration management would be the second. And as Adrian already mentioned, predictive maintenance, would be the ultimate goal on that.
Correct. Thanks.
Okay.
There's a quite interesting question from Shilpa. Are there efforts to standardize the structure of master data across the pharma industry? And for example, are there any guidelines for artificial intelligence or machine learning friendly data structures? So what we can say to that is that we are working in compliance with the more open architecture, idea and vision and structure. And also, we as Endress+Hauser are a member of a so-called Open Industry Alliance 4.0, where most of the life science big vendors and also other vendors are in there. So there are currently progress on working on these, standardized structures of master data. So of course, if you have, devices from different vendors over the past 20 years, you would see that there are many, many differences, right? Because no one had in mind to go into this direction of where we are right now and where we are discussing right now. And we as, a vendor, supplier, family, realized that we need to go into this direction together to bring the best value to you as a plant user or end customer. And there are several discussions ongoing. As I said, there is this NAMO open architecture concept, and there is also this Open Industry 4.0 Alliance. And I'm pretty sure that you will see in the next weeks, months, and years to come a clear structure on how this will look like. It always takes a bit of time because such standards are not going to be developed in a few weeks. But we are working on this one, and definitely you will be, as an end user, be very happy with the result of it.
Yeah, maybe Adrian, to add two more things. One is the ISPE, who is working also on this plug and play concepts, where standardization is also one of the pillars, and also maybe drawing some attention to the Bioforum to the BPOC, which have just kicked off a new roadmap, a digital roadmap, where also standardization is one of the main topics.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for adding that. So you see, there are many intelligent people working together to make it as easy as possible for you. And there, I'm pretty sure you will see something to come in future. Maybe last question, because we only have 20 seconds left, and I guess this will be a very quick one. So how often the master data must be updated? Actually, it's kind of course, depends always on the vendor. So normally as Endress+Hauser, we would update them automatically. So for example, if there's a new calibration certificate, if there is a new status of obsolescence, then you would get automatically the information in your SAP ARM. And most of the other customers and vendors will do it similarly. So you don't need to do it updated by yourself. All right, I guess time is over. Of course, if there are any more questions, you can reach out to us and to the Singapore marketing team via the email address. And yeah, Klaus, thank you very much for joining and for the good Q&A session we had. And yeah, see you soon.